This brutal truth that makes 95.7% of women find you irresistible stoicism. The brutal truth that no one tells you. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about attraction is wrong? That the very thing you believe makes a man desirable is actually making you invisible to women? What if I told you there is one brutal truth, one fundamental principle that makes 95.7% of women find you irresistible? Let me ask you a question. Why do women seem naturally drawn to certain men, while others, no matter how hard they try, remain unnoticed? Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to reveal isn't just about attraction, it's about power, self-mastery, and living with an unshakable sense of purpose. It's about becoming a man who doesn't just attract women, but commands respect in every aspect of life. The answer is hidden in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has stood the test of time for thousands of years. This is not pickup artistry. This is not manipulation. This is the mindset shift that separates weak men from powerful magnetic leaders. And by the time this video ends, you'll understand exactly how to transform yourself into the kind of man women can't resist without ever chasing, begging, or compromising who you are. Part 1. The unattractive truth. Why most men fail. Most men fail with women not due to a lack of looks, wealth, or charm, but because they lack an unshakable internal foundation. They drift through life without an anchor, reacting to circumstances rather than shaping them. They search outward for validation instead of cultivating internal fulfillment. They chase instead of becoming a force that naturally attracts. Women, by evolutionary design, have an unparalleled ability to perceive strength and weakness in men. This is not merely social conditioning, but a deeply ingrained instinct, honed over thousands of years of evolutionary survival. A woman's subconscious is always scanning for cues, searching for indicators of dominance, stability, and resilience. She does not need to consciously analyze your behavior. Her intuition picks up on it instantly. If you seek her approval, if you look to her for a sense of self-worth, she will perceive you as uncertain, insecure, and ultimately unworthy of admiration. She may not be able to articulate why, but she will feel it, and that feeling will dictate her attraction or lack thereof. Leadership is not about commanding others, but about commanding yourself. It is about being in control of your mind, your emotions, and your trajectory in life. The moment you surrender your self-perception to external judgment, you cease to be a leader. You become a follower, a man waiting for direction, rather than forging his own path. And followers, no matter how well-intentioned, do not spark the deepest, most visceral forms of attraction in women. Here's a truth that many men refuse to accept. Women do not fall for what you say. They do not weigh your words in isolation, nor do they logically assess your value based on verbal promises. Instead, they fall for how you carry yourself, the silent yet thunderous energy you emit through your actions, presence, and unwavering sense of self. They are drawn to the essence of who you are at your core, the intangible aura that speaks louder than any words you could ever craft. If your energy whispers insecurity, no amount of smooth talking will override the deeper message your presence conveys. Your body language, your tone, the way you move through the world, these are the unspoken languages of attraction. If you are centered, if you radiate calm confidence and unshakable self-belief, it will be felt before you even open your mouth. Conversely, if you reek of desperation, if you rely on validation to feel whole, that too will be felt instantly. So what is the solution? How does a man transition from being reactive to proactive? From seeking approval to being self-sufficient? From chasing to attracting? It begins with a deep recalibration of your mindset and your energy. It requires a shift in how you perceive yourself and your place in the world. The foundation of true confidence does not come from external accomplishments or arbitrary milestones. It is cultivated from within. It is forged in the fires of discipline, self-awareness, and an unbreakable sense of purpose. The first step is to sever your dependence on external validation. Most men live their lives like social chameleons, altering their behavior in an attempt to gain favor from those around them. They adjust their personality, their humor, even their ambitions to align with what they believe will make them more likable. But in doing so, they dilute their essence. A man who seeks approval is a man who lacks conviction. And a man without conviction is not a man that inspires desire. To become truly attractive, you must cultivate a deep sense of self. You must know who you are, what you stand for, and what you are building in your life. Your goals must be larger than impressing women. Your purpose must be greater than social validation. Women are naturally drawn to men who are immersed in their own mission, men who are so grounded in their path that they do not seek permission or encouragement to pursue it. A man who walks this path is magnetic, not because he tries to be, but because his presence alone commands attention. The second step is to master emotional control. Weak men are ruled by their emotions. They lash out when things do not go their way. They become flustered in the face of adversity. They crumble under pressure. A strong man, on the other hand, remains composed. He does not allow his emotional state to be dictated by external events. He moves through life with an unwavering calm, unaffected by the chaos around him. This emotional steadiness is intoxicating to women. It signals that you are reliable, that you are a pillar of stability in an unpredictable world. The third step is to cultivate an abundance mindset. Most men operate from a place of scarcity. They believe that every woman they meet is their only chance at connection, their only opportunity for affection. This desperation bleeds into their interactions, making them clingy, needy, and overly invested too soon. A man with an abundance mindset, however, understands that there is no shortage of options. He does not grip tightly onto any single opportunity because he knows his value. He is selective, discerning, and unwilling to compromise his standards out of fear of being alone. Finally, a man must develop an unshakable sense of presence. Presence is the ability to exist fully in the moment, to engage with the world with total awareness and certainty. Many men are mentally scattered. They are stuck in their heads overanalyzing every interaction, worried about how they are being perceived. This lack of presence is immediately noticeable. Women can sense when a man is disconnected, when he is self-conscious rather than self-assured. True presence is about owning the space you occupy, about moving with deliberate intention, about speaking with a slow, confident cadence that commands attention. This transformation does not happen overnight. It requires a commitment to self-mastery, to relentless self-improvement, to a life built on strength rather than seeking. But when you make this shift, everything changes. Women begin to perceive you differently, not because you are playing games or following tactics, but because you have become a man who does not need to chase. You have become a man who attracts. The choice is yours. Continue living in reaction, forever seeking external approval, forever chasing what will always elude you, or step into your power, cultivate your foundation, and become the type of man that women naturally gravitate toward. The answer has never been in the words you say. It has always been in the man you are. Part 2. The Stoic Man, the frame of irresistibility. The ancient Stoics possessed a principle so profound and unwavering that it rendered them nearly invincible, not through brute strength or sheer dominance, but through an unshakable mastery over the self. This principle, simple in phrasing yet infinite in its implications, dictated that true power arises not from external circumstances, but from an internal mastery over one's own reactions, thoughts, and emotions. The world is an unpredictable, chaotic force, subject to ever-changing tides of fate, fortune, and external influence. Yet the Stoic remains firm, unyielding in his disposition, not because he controls the world, but because he controls himself. Control what you can, accept what you cannot, and never be ruled by emotion. This is the doctrine that separates those who falter from those who endure, those who seek validation from those who command respect, and those who chase from those who attract effortlessly. A man who is at the mercy of his emotions is a man who is enslaved by them. He is tossed about by the winds of circumstance, dependent on external validation, and at the mercy of the approval or disapproval of others. This is not a position of strength. It is a position of weakness disguised as passion. Nowhere is this principle more evident than in the realm of attraction. There is a common misconception that to win the affections of a woman, one must pursue her relentlessly, shower her with attention, and mold himself into whatever shape she desires. This, however, is the antithesis of true attraction. Women do not want a man who needs them. They do not crave a man who is desperate for their approval, who seeks completion through their presence. What women desire, whether consciously or subconsciously, is a man who is complete on his own. A man who exists with purpose, who has a vision that extends beyond the fleeting whims of emotional gratification. A man who does not bend to every emotional impulse, nor seeks solace in external validation. He is whole. He is independent. He is a force unto himself. This is the power of the Stoic frame, the ability to remain centered in the face of external chaos, to exude an aura of control, and to command respect without ever needing to demand it. It is the ability to navigate life's storms without losing one's sense of self, to be the rock in turbulent waters, the lighthouse that others naturally gravitate toward. A man who operates from this mindset does not chase, he attracts. He does not beg for attention, he commands it effortlessly. His value is not derived from how much external affection he can secure, but from the internal strength he radiates. The truth about attraction is that it is not about convincing someone to like you. It is not about endless efforts to prove your worth or win someone over. True attraction is about becoming so unshakably magnetic, so resolute in your sense of self, that others cannot help but be drawn to you. And that starts with detachment. Detachment does not mean apathy, nor does it mean cold indifference. It is not about rejecting emotion, but rather mastering it. It is about recognizing that attachment to outcomes breeds desperation, and desperation repels where confidence attracts. A man who is detached from outcomes is a man who is truly free. He does not fear loss because he understands that his sense of self is not contingent on any external factor. He does not compromise his principles for fleeting validation. He does not overextend himself in the hope of being chosen because he understands that his value is inherent, not assigned by another. This is what makes the Stoic frame so powerful. It is a philosophy of strength, of internal mastery, of the unbreakable will. When a man operates from this space, he ceases to be a participant in the game of seeking approval and instead becomes the gravitational force around which others naturally orbit. To embody the Stoic frame is to embody true strength, to live with purpose, and to cultivate an unshakable inner world that no external force can disturb. It is to transcend the fleeting and embrace the eternal. And in doing so, one does not seek attraction, one becomes it. Part 3. Detachment, the secret to becoming magnetic. When a man reaches true emotional independence, a profound transformation occurs within him, one that reshapes his perception of himself, others, and the world around him. He no longer finds himself entangled in the web of external validation or emotional turbulence that once dictated his thoughts and actions. Instead, he cultivates an unshakable inner fortress built upon self-mastery, wisdom, and a resolute sense of purpose. No longer does he overanalyze every interaction, dissecting each word or gesture in search of hidden meanings or implied judgments. He moves through the world with quiet confidence, understanding that his worth is not contingent upon the fleeting opinions of others. The anxious thoughts that once plagued his mind, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the dread of rejection, the endless need for reassurance, dissolve in the face of his newfound clarity. He understands that the only approval he truly needs is his own. When it comes to women, this shift is nothing short of revolutionary. He ceases to pedestalize them, no longer viewing them as the gatekeepers of his happiness or the arbiters of his self-esteem. He does not shrink under their scrutiny, nor does he mold himself into what he thinks they desire. Instead, he stands firm in his authenticity, unconcerned with whether he is liked, praised, or accepted. He recognizes that true attraction is not born from seeking approval, but from embodying a presence so unwavering that it naturally commands respect and admiration. Women test men constantly, not out of malice or cruelty, but as an instinctual means of assessing strength, stability, and emotional resilience. These tests manifest in most men fail these tests miserably. They react instead of respond. They become defensive. their egos wounded by the slightest hint of disapproval. They seek validation, desperate to prove their worth, bending over backward to please at the cost of their own self-respect. Or worse, they lash out, anger, frustration, or emotional reactivity overtaking their composure. In doing so, they reveal the very weakness they so desperately seek to conceal. But the Stoic man? He remains unmoved, not in a way that is cold or indifferent, but in a way that radiates an unassailable strength. He does not flinch when tested. He does not crumble under pressure. He does not needlessly explain, defend, or justify himself. Instead, he meets every challenge with an air of quiet confidence, responding with measured words and controlled emotions. He does not give away his power by reacting impulsively. Instead, he channels his energy toward mastery of self. This, in essence, is the foundation of ultimate attraction. Not mere looks, wealth, or status, but the ability to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, unshaken by external forces. When a man achieves this level of emotional sovereignty, he becomes not just desirable, but magnetic. Women sense, on a visceral level, that he is different. He is not a man who can be easily swayed, manipulated, or thrown off balance. He is not desperate for attention, nor does he chase affection. He simply exists in his highest form, whole, complete, and entirely in command of his own reality. And that, in the end, is the rarest and most powerful trait a man can possess. Part 4. The Power of Purpose. Why passion makes you irresistible. Nothing commands respect and admiration more than a man who is utterly consumed by a mission greater than himself. A man who walks with purpose, whose every action is an extension of his unshakable vision, exudes a power that cannot be feigned or fabricated. It is an energy that speaks louder than words, one that influences and shapes the world around him. The moment you make your mission the highest priority in your life, a profound transformation takes place. You begin to move differently, no longer swayed by the fleeting opinions of others, no longer bending to the pressures of external validation. You stop seeking approval because your validation comes from the relentless pursuit of your own vision. Your focus sharpens, your distractions fade, and your time becomes too valuable to waste on trivialities. You no longer entertain shallow pleasures or meaningless pursuits because they no longer align with the trajectory of your life. Every action, every thought, every ounce of energy is directed towards something meaningful, something enduring. And in doing so, you cultivate an aura of confidence and certainty that is unmistakable. This is the paradox of attraction. Men who chase approval, who prioritize others over their purpose, diminish themselves in the process. Women do not want to be the center of a man's existence. They want to witness a man who is already whole, already in motion, already deeply engaged in something beyond them. They do not want to be your mission. They want to be swept up in the current of your unwavering commitment to something greater. A man without a mission is a man adrift, easily swayed, easily lost. He becomes desperate for meaning, searching for it in the validation of others, particularly in the affections of a woman. But this dependence on external validation is precisely what erodes respect. When you make a woman your mission, when your sense of self revolves around her, she instinctively loses admiration for you. She may appreciate the attention, but she will not respect the man who has no foundation beyond her. But when you stand firm, when your mission burns so brightly that it illuminates the path before you, something extraordinary happens. You become magnetic. You draw others toward you, not because you seek them, but because your presence carries weight, direction, and purpose. So ask yourself, what are you building? What vision fuels you? What force drives you beyond the ephemeral desires of relationships, beyond the distractions of modern life? What wakes you up in the morning with a sense of urgency? What compels you to keep moving forward, even when no one else understands? Because it is not fleeting charm, not superficial wealth, not rehearsed words that make you truly attractive. It is the fire of purpose, the relentless pursuit of something meaningful, the unshakable drive to carve your own path in the world. That is what makes a man irresistible. That is what commands genuine respect. Part 5. The Stoic Man's Attractiveness Code. Mastering emotional control. The foundation of unshakable masculinity. In a world that constantly provokes emotional reactions, mastering emotional control is the foundation of a powerful and unshakable man. Most people allow their emotions to dictate their actions, resulting in impulsive decisions, unnecessary conflicts, and emotional instability. However, true mastery over oneself begins with the ability to separate emotion from action. This does not mean suppressing emotions, but rather acknowledging them without allowing them to control behavior. Imagine a scenario where you are insulted in public. A reactive man would lash out, escalating the situation, potentially damaging his reputation, or worse, getting into unnecessary trouble. A man who has mastered his emotions, however, remains composed, understanding that an emotional response only benefits the person trying to provoke him. Instead of reacting, he responds calmly, rationally, and with calculated precision. This level of control is not developed overnight, but through rigorous self-discipline, mindfulness, and an understanding of human psychology. To cultivate emotional control, practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Recognize when emotions are rising and observe them without attachment. Develop a response delay. Before reacting, take a deep breath and assess the situation rationally. Engage in mental conditioning. Read Stoic philosophy, practice meditation, and expose yourself to controlled stress to build resilience. Detach from external validation. The less you need approval from others, the less their opinions and actions will affect you. True power comes from within. When you become the master of your emotions, you become the master of your fate. No insult, no rejection, no external circumstance can shake a man who has absolute control over his emotional state. Developing a mission. Bigger than women, the key to magnetic presence. The most attractive quality in any man is purpose. A man who is driven by something greater than himself, whether it be a personal mission, career, or life's work, automatically commands respect and admiration. Many men fall into the trap of making women the focal point of their lives, adjusting their actions, personality, and priorities in an attempt to gain female approval. This approach is inherently flawed and leads to a life of chasing rather than attracting. A man with a mission is magnetic because his energy is focused and his time is valuable. Women, like all people, are drawn to those who exude purpose and determination. When you dedicate yourself to a higher calling, your presence becomes naturally desirable because you radiate ambition and discipline. To develop a mission-driven life, identify your passion and purpose. What excites you? What problem do you want to solve in the world? Your mission should be deeply personal and meaningful. Set long-term and short-term goals. Without clear objectives, purpose remains abstract. Define what success looks like for you and map out a plan to achieve it. Prioritize your growth over relationships. Your self-improvement and mission must come first. Any relationship that does not align with your mission should be reconsidered. Adopt the mindset of a builder. Whether it's your career, business, health, or mindset, always be constructing and expanding. A man who is consumed by his purpose does not chase, he attracts. Women become a complement to his journey, not the destination. Being unapologetically detached, the root of confidence and power. Confidence is not about arrogance or bravado. It is the silent assurance that comes from knowing you need nothing from anyone. This is where the power of detachment becomes crucial. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means maintaining emotional independence regardless of external circumstances. Many men become overly invested in outcomes, whether in relationships, business, or social dynamics. This attachment breeds anxiety, fear, and insecurity. When you learn to operate from a place of abundance rather than neediness, you become truly powerful. To cultivate detachment, adopt an abundance mindset. There are limitless opportunities in life, whether in relationships, wealth, or personal growth. A loss is never permanent. It is merely a redirection. Control your reactions. Never overinvest emotionally in situations beyond your control. Respond with logic, not desperation. Understand the impermanence of all things. Everything in life is temporary. The more you accept this, the less hold external circumstances will have over you. Develop self-sufficiency. Rely on yourself for validation, fulfillment, and happiness. The less you need from others, the more powerful you become. When you operate from a place of detachment, people sense your strength. You are free from manipulation, social pressure, and desperation. This is the essence of true confidence. Exuding calm, unshakable energy. The ultimate test of strength, women in society in general constantly test for weakness. It is an unconscious mechanism that determines a man's strength, leadership, and ability to handle adversity. The key to passing every test, whether in relationships, business, or life, is to maintain calm, unshakable energy. A man who reacts emotionally, displays insecurity, or is easily rattled is immediately perceived as weak. Conversely, a man who remains composed, rational, and in control is seen as a pillar of strength. To cultivate this energy, master your body language. Stand tall, maintain steady eye contact, and move with purpose. Develop mental resilience. Train yourself to remain calm under pressure through controlled exposure to stress, e.g., cold showers, public speaking, combat sports. Never over-explain yourself. The more you talk unnecessarily, the more power you give away. Speak with intention. Embrace silence and stillness. A powerful man does not fidget, rush, or seek approval. He is at peace in his own presence. Unshakable men are rare, and rarity commands respect. Be the man who cannot be unsettled, no matter the situation. Living with high standards, the key to commanding respect a man is defined by the standards he sets for himself. High standards govern how you live, who you associate with, and what you tolerate. The higher your standards, the more respect you command, from both yourself and others. To live with high standards, demand excellence from yourself. Whether in fitness, finances, or personal growth, never settle for mediocrity. Set clear boundaries. Do not tolerate disrespect, laziness, or anything that diminishes your value. Surround yourself with high-caliber individuals. Your environment dictates your success. Align yourself with those who push you to be better. Never compromise on your values. A man who stands for nothing falls for anything. Define your principles and uphold them without apology. When you hold yourself to the highest standards, the world has no choice but to respect you. It is not about arrogance. It is about knowing your worth and refusing to accept anything less. Conclusion. The final Stoic secret to becoming irresistible attraction, in its purest form, has never been about chasing, convincing, or proving. The final and most profound Stoic truth is this: you don't need to chase, you only need to become. This is not just a mindset shift. It is a fundamental restructuring of how you perceive yourself, your worth, and your place in the world. Too many men spend their lives in pursuing validation, approval, and external markers of success, never realizing that this very act of pursuit reveals lack, desperation, and self-doubt. The moment you stop chasing and start becoming, everything changes. To become truly irresistible, you must stop looking outward for confirmation of your value. Instead, turn inward. Strength, confidence, and an undeniable presence are not things you seek. They are things you cultivate within yourself. The greatest men in history, the most magnetic and desirable figures, did not achieve their status through external pursuits alone. They became through discipline, self-mastery, and an unshakable sense of purpose. The art of becoming, why attraction flows to the mastered man. When you embody these principles, when you fully integrate the wisdom of Stoicism into your daily life, attraction is no longer something you need to seek. It becomes a byproduct of who you are. Think of the most compelling men. They do not convince. They do not plead. They do not mold themselves to fit the expectations of others. Instead, they exist in a state of unapologetic certainty, a certainty that comes not from arrogance, but from self-mastery. The paradox of attraction is that the more you seek it, the more it eludes you. The more you need validation, the less valuable you appear. But when you shift your focus inward, when you refine your character, cultivate resilience, and develop an aura of quiet power, people naturally gravitate toward you. This is not about manipulation. It is not about tactics, tricks, or scripted lines. True magnetism is the result of authentic internal transformation. The moment you stop trying to be chosen and instead focus on choosing yourself, the entire dynamic shifts. The men who chase versus the men who attract. There are two types of men in this world. The chasers. These men live in a state of scarcity. They operate from a place of lack, always seeking external approval, always reacting to circumstances. They overthink every interaction, worry about how they are perceived, and constantly adjust their behavior to gain favor. Their energy is needy, and neediness repels. The becomers. These men live in a state of abundance. They are grounded, unshaken by external noise. They know their value, and because they do not seek approval, they naturally command respect. They are not concerned with who likes them or who. Which man do you want to be? How this transformation changes every aspect of your life. This final Stoic secret is not just about attraction, it is about everything. Your career, your friendships, your financial success, your sense of fulfillment. The same principles that make a man irresistible to women are the principles that make him successful in every other area of life. Discipline creates confidence. When you master yourself, your emotions, your habits, your reactions, you develop a deep confidence that radiates outward. Women, employers, friends, and even strangers pick up on this unspoken energy. Purpose eliminates neediness. A man with purpose does not chase distractions. He is too focused on building, creating, and evolving. Ironically, this focus makes him even more attractive, because people are drawn to those with vision and direction. Self-respect demands respect. When you hold yourself to high standards, the world mirrors that back to you. You no longer tolerate disrespect, and in doing so, you attract those who value and admire you. This is the core of Stoic attraction. You do not convince, you do not chase, you simply are. The final question, who will you choose to be? So now, you stand at a crossroads. The choice is yours. Will you continue to seek approval, chase, and react? Will you keep looking outward, trying to gain something that only comes from within? Or will you take control of your life, master yourself, and step into the reality of a man who does not need to chase, because he already is? This is not just about dating. This is about power, presence, purpose. This is about becoming a man that 95.7% of women can't resist. Not because of tactics, but because of who you are at your core. The answer is already within you. Now it's time to live it. If this resonated with you, if you're ready to take this journey to the next level, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Stay strong, stay disciplined, stay stoic, and I'll see you in the next one.